everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the FabuPRO online course. This is video number 4. From now on, we are no longer going to be working on the sponge. This does not mean that you need to stop working on the sponge at home. Remember, practice makes perfect. One of the requirements for you guys is going to be to take pictures of your work. This is going to be necessary in order for you guys to get certified. We will be covering in the next few topics adhesive, hygiene, business, a lot of other topics, and it's going to be a lot of talking, so please take notes. These will be extensive topics, and that's why we're going to be cutting them into different types of videos. As usual, I'm going to leave the links in the description box below of the kit, which we will be restocking February 12th, so keep an eye out for that, as well as the link for the FabuPRO exclusive Facebook group. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't hate me because literally all I'm going to be doing in the next couple videos is talk. Lots of it. Welcome back to the FabuPRO online course. In today's session, we will be covering everything that you need to know about the glue. Now personally, I highly suggest for you to have already mastered the sponge practice, in which we did the classic, hybrid, and volume sets. We also learned how to dip the extension into the glue. If you feel that you have already mastered dipping the extensions into the glue as well as the sponge practice, feel free to move forward. If you feel that you still need some work, go ahead and watch our previous videos. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be talking about the glue. The glue is very essential for your lashing career. I like to use the FABU Drizzle glue. As you can see here on the bottle, it says the optimal temperature and optimal humidity. The temperature says 75 and the humidity is at 52%. If you go onto the back, there's going to be a small box and it says date of opening. You want to make sure that you always put the date that you open the bottle, because you want to make sure that you do not use the bottle for any longer than, I would say, 6 weeks. If the temperature is too high or too low, this can cause the glue to get extremely tacky. As well as if the humidity is too low or too high, the glue will also get tacky and dry too fast. The optimal humidity and temperature varies by each bottle. One bottle you can have the temperature at 73, and your next bottle you might need to have it at 75. The same thing goes for the humidity. Perhaps one bottle may be working at 50% humidity, and your next bottle you probably will have it at 55. Keeping up with the temperature and the humidity for each bottle is extremely important. I highly suggest that before using a new bottle of glue on a guest, test it. You can do this by picking up a crystal, adding a dot of glue, setting your temperature and humidity, and then checking your glue every 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that it's working properly. There are 2 ways that the glue reacts. It dries and it also cures. So the glue dries from 1 to 2 seconds when you are applying the extensions onto the natural lash. If you take more than 2 seconds to apply the extension to the natural lash, the extension, as you know, will no longer attach due to the glue drying. Whereas if once the extensions are already attached, it takes the glue at least 24 to 48 hours to build a stronger bond, and that is known as curing. So basically, the way that you as a lash tech apply them is known as drying, and the way that the guest takes care of the lashes within the 24 and 48 hours is known as curing. This is a medical grade adhesive, and it cures by absorbing the humidity from the air, and the higher the humidity in the working environment, the faster it's going to cure. You are probably thinking, how am I going to keep track of all these factors? And you feel that this is a lot for you to keep track of, but I promise that once you start practicing, it will come naturally. What I do recommend if you are a beginner, because you are, start at a lower humidity. For example, start at 50%. That way the glue will not dry as fast. And then once you get more comfortable, you will be able to increase the humidity to at least the 52%, which will allow the glue to dry just a bit faster. Due to the fact that the glue does dry by absorbing humidity in the air, the glue will begin to crystallize and become tacky. So what you want to do is add a little bit of water. Add a drop of glue to the water. And this is 100% humidity. So as you can see, the glue is automatically starting to crystallize. And as you can see, the surrounding part of the glue is already 100% dried and cured. The outside has already crystallized and it has already dried completely. Due to the fact that the glue does dry by absorbing humidity in the air, the glue will begin to crystallize and become tacky. This is why you should change your glue every 30 minutes to an hour. And also, try to use this glue no longer than 5 weeks because it does have an expiration date. The reason why I like to change the glue completely, and you guys all know this, I like to wipe the glue from my crystal. It's due to the fact that if I just add another drop of glue, the glue on the bottom will continue to be tacky and I will find myself changing the glue more often. It is also safe to completely change your glue and eliminate the previous drop, avoiding excessive amounts of glue in your workspace. When leaving the station, always remove the glue from the area when your guest is still on the chair or the table. This is what were to happen if you don't. Your guest can take advantage of this moment and feel the need to stretch, and then at this moment they can get the glue on their clothes, their skin, or their hair. Scenario number 2. You can damage your workstation by leaving the glue unattended. The glue can get on the fabric such as clothing and it will definitely not come off. The glue can get on skin and instantly cure. Now you can use solvents or debonders to soften the glue, such as acetone, but this is going to dry the skin and irritate it, which is why you have to be very careful where you leave the glue. Other things you need to watch out when you are using the glue is if a client feels that their eyes are burning, perhaps you are using too much glue and the tape might be sliding and eyes may not be completely closed. If you have double checked any of these possibilities, in rare cases that might mean that your guest could be allergic and extremely sensitive to the glue or might have developed a chemical burn. How do you know if your client is either allergic, sensitive, or has developed a chemical burn? Sensitivity examples. They might have watery eyes, the lids and the eyes can be itchy, the slight tingling sensation, and they might be sensitive to gel pads or tape. Allergy symptoms. There's going to be intense burning or pain, bright red eyes, bumps and irritation, swelling of the eye area. This usually happens in the inner corners of the eye and your guest will develop a bright red coloring of the eye. How do you avoid a chemical burn? Always make sure that the eyes are completely closed, and we are going to show you this in some of our next videos. We're going to show you how to apply the tape over the lid and make sure that the tape is not sliding. Use the right amount of glue. If any of these situations were to occur, always let the client know that they might have a sensitivity to the glue. And if they are willing to continue, this would be their responsibility and not yours. This leads us to proper protection for the eyelash technicians, a consent form that you will definitely need. This form states that they are giving permission to you to apply extensions and they will notify you if they are allergic to the glue. It also states that you will not be held responsible for any actions caused by the service. You can also create a separate form where it states that they want to continue after being notified from the allergic reaction. Now, allergic reactions do progress and they get worse the more that you are exposed to that. You always want to let your customer know that perhaps this time it wasn't that bad, but next time it could be worse. I would like to tell you guys about an experience that I encountered. I had a guest who came in to get a hybrid set. She initially told me that she might be sensitive to our glue, so we took extra precaution. After we applied the full set, we checked on her after 3 days, as we do for all of our guests. And she explained that she did have a small reaction. She continued with her first fill, and when she arrived to our location, I noticed that there were small bumps on her eyelid. I did explain to her that she must have had an allergic reaction, and if she decided to continue, the allergic reaction may progress into a worse scenario. After the warning, she still decided she wanted to continue with her fill, and after that session, she came back for her second fill and told me that her eyes had been a bit swollen after the fill. I insisted that this was an allergic reaction and that it could eventually get worse. She still continued with her second fill, and as you can imagine, after that fill, 1 day later, she came back to us with extremely swollen eyes, and I had to remove the extensions. What I want to tell you guys is that all the extensions adhesive have cyanocrylate, and this is a chemical compound that reacts with water to quickly form a strong bond on most surfaces, including the nails and the skin. And in some places, they actually use this compound to secure the skin and natural organs. Now, cyanocrylate is a known allergen and formaldehyde that is a natural byproduct in tiny parts per million during the curing process as the bond solidifies and becomes strong and effective. Anyone can be allergic to this glue. So you have to be very, very careful with each customer. You have to make sure that you take extra precaution and double check anything that they might be feeling concerned about, if their eyes are burning, if they're itchy, and as such. Now, in our Facebook group, I will be leaving a link to more information regarding this chemical compound. And I know that this might feel like a little too much information to take in. However, the good thing is that you are able to stop, rewind, and replay wherever you feel necessary. Do not forget to join us on our Facebook group and share your experience. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that you guys are notified whenever we post another video.